back. We're a little late here tonight, but we're on to Bristol live in action. 40 laps in alongside here with Tucker Minner from the eNASCAR Coca-Cola Series. How we doing tonight, Tucker?
Doing great, Cozy. How are you?
Oh man, we got us a race here at Bristol. 40 laps in. We've had one caution already. We've had a little bit of junk, but already it's back strung out here and on the second run of the race.
Yeah, I'm thinking this is going to be the run where everybody kind of settles in, tries to take care of their tires, and everybody kind of starts expecting it to turn into a long run until you get the inevitable yellow with about 40 to go.
Yeah, absolutely right. Still a long ways to go, but tires on it right now. Scrolling back through the fillers, our man Merch. It looks like hanging out P3 right now. Cruising, saving his stuff. Yeah, take
BRS, let's go.
So these guys starting to use the top side here. I remember doing this last year. We both ran pretty well. Tricky to use the bottom and the top, when to go, when not to go. You know, terrible stuff, not terrible stuff. So I just found that pretty difficult, but did a pretty good job managing it last year.
Yeah, last year, definitely it was interesting on the short run. You kind of wanted to run the outside lane there and try to get as many spots as you could. But if the race broke and you went more than about 40 or 50 laps, you ended up really in a world of hurt on your tires and you'd be backing up in a hurry. So these guys, it looks like I'll expect this to go long here as we see a little smoke. So they're really trying to take care of their tires. We haven't really seen a lot of side-by-side racing that you'd expect at the start of a race like Bristol.
I tell you what, I don't think they're going to be going green too terribly long. They got to get a good picture of what's going on there towards the back of the field. Like 20th on back, they are brawling back there. Oh man. Wow, right on cue.
Oh, there it is.
All right, man, caution is out. Oh. Caution is out.
I wasn't kidding, man. They were getting after it.
Tell you what, I think you got a crystal ball sitting over there, Cozy. You know, tell me the lottery numbers.
Yeah, no kidding. Briar back in there. Somebody else, that purple truck that goes.
Oh man, whoever that 9 truck is, Logan Helton gets about the worst of it, it looks like. Logan having a good run in Road to Pro this year, but it looks like this may be his drop week.
That's right.
I think he was third in points coming in tonight.
That's tough for Logan getting in there, just getting hooked.
Yeah, you know, it's real hard to see here at Bristol, especially like on corner entry if you're right in line with somebody. Gonna be interested to see if we got pit stops here. Everybody went pretty long on their tires there. I don't think much of the field had come down. Yep, here we go. Gonna be important not to speed or slide through your box.
Yeah, and they're doing the combined again, right? Took me a while to get used to this, going all the way around pit road.
Yeah, it really helps the guys out that qualify in the back of the field so they don't have that split pit road deal, but yeah, it's a long, arduous process driving down pit road at 35 miles an hour for that long.
Yeah, especially right there around the center of the corner. Speeding up, trying to pick up the penalty, just going so slow.
I feel like it was last year's Road to Pro race. I had a poor qualifying effort. My pit stall was right near the end of the front stretch, so you know, you came around that corner and it's like my box was right there. It kind of caught me off guard, so it's a little difficult for those guys qualified right there around like 15th, 20th.
Yeah.
Looks like the order didn't really change much coming off pit road here up front.
Yeah, it looks about the same. Humpy out foul.
I have to say this has been a great run so far for Kenny Humpy, making his return to eNASCAR competition after, you know, I think he was the 2015 series champion in the eNASCAR Coca-Cola Series.
One of the OGs.
Making his return with the team. Victory one.
Running really well. Been covering a lot of the top split Road to Pro round 1 races, and he's run well in most of them. So he's definitely certainly after it here at Bristol. Really strong on those short tracks.
Yeah, the old guard really showing out tonight. Kenny P1 race and their P2.
Let's see if we can't get these boys back double foul and get back going here.
Oh, 1 to green.
Let's go.
It's going to be interesting to see if business finally starts picking up or not. Everybody going to start getting 2x2 here up front, trying to get that track position, expecting yellows, or if they're going to get back rank and file in line.
That's what I noticed last year is that I went hard as soon as the green flag went, and you know it's kind of similar where we got caution flags here and there throughout the race. But one thing everybody seemed to notice every restart past the first one is that man, you can really make some time up top. So then every restart past the first one just got harder and harder to really make that ground since everybody started to pick up on
Green flag,
big
green
restart.
flag.
He's on it.
Yeah, he is. Inside line got really checked up at Pfeffer there. Might allow Merckx to clear to third, depending on how hard he takes it through turn 1 2 here.
Careful cold tires too, man. That thing really likes to skid.
Yeah, then you got to account for your truck's going to be handling different right here on those cold tires versus the end of that run. Plus, if you're running the outside lane versus the inside lane, that can really affect the balance of your truck. I know working on my Altus Engineering data pack this week, I was pretty surprised when I ran the bottom. I was a little bit free versus running the top. I was a little bit tight, so that that kind of comes into comes into play.
Back here. Oh,
Battling hard here, back to top 10, I believe. This is 3 wide.
oh boy, these guys are getting after it. Here we go.
Kenny Brady, Daniel Budafuco racing hard through there.
Yeah, some aggressive guys back here trying to use all these lanes.
Oh man, 19 truck, one at the bottom there.
Oh, look at this. Man.
Drew Freenage.
Oh, here we go.
Man.
Oh, this is going to be a big one,
All right,
gang.
man.
They're coming right back up in the corner.
Oh,
no.
Oh, man. I think looks like 2 or 3 more people kind of piled into that a little bit late as they slid back up the banking. Those are guys who are running, pretty good. That's one of those situations you kind of wish you had back in a series like Road to Pro, where points are so important. When you're having a good night, running right around that top 10, top 15 mark, it really gets really frustrating. Get caught up in a mess like that. I think those guys were in the top 10 there. I have to look a little further up. Kenny Brady, Andrew Navarro.
Yeah, some of these guys are not very happy after that one. I'll tell you that.
Be interesting to see if we could see another replay there with maybe from on board Andrew Navarro. I know he was right in the middle of that. See how that all developed.
Yeah, it looked like some wheel hop or something or other. Right there on the straightaway, and all got to nose to tail.
See, on board with Navarro here. Oh, is in front of him. It looks like whoever that was with Kenny Brady, they got hooked together somehow coming down the front stretch. Man, just a lot of those guys had nowhere to go.
Yeah, that's a really bad spot for them to have back up in the corner. Like I said, just nowhere to go there. Line down in there. Well, man, that's a heck of a start here. We still got a ways to go too.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see a lot of these guys staying out with their damage. Track position's super important, and if the race keeps going like this with yellows, maybe staying out, riding around with an alien truck's not such a bad idea.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I was just taking a look down pit road. There's definitely a handful. I'm trying to think. Honestly, most of my road to pro races, we had a fair share of cautions, but man, that's I don't think any of our races had that many trucks down pit road.
Yeah, that's something that I've noticed this season, and the little bit I've been able to watch Top Split. It seems like, I'm not going to say the races have been dirty, but we had a lot of green flag racing last year through rounds 1 and rounds 2, and it seems like this year, there's still a fair amount of green flag racing, but there's definitely at least, I want to say, 3 or 4 cautions on average every race versus we maybe had 1 caution on average the last couple years. So it's definitely interesting to see how that's changed this year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it changes your whole outlook on the race, because I feel like at least for me and us this last season, a lot of your mindset entering a lot of those races as well. We're probably going to go green most of the way, but these kinds of races where 175 laps, I'm not sure how many tire sets they get tonight, but probably 2, 3, not too many, right? That itself can enter into a lot of different strategy possibilities, and then just damage limitation at this point. A lot of these guys get damage left and right. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, especially if you took that set of tires early, expecting it to go green. I think it was Blake McCandless we saw before we got on air that he came down somewhere around lap 15, lap 20, and used one of his sets of tires. So I'm sure that's kind of got him on the back foot right now as we coming back to green here.
Yeah, about the same front row. Humpy now Fallon.
Merch now back on the inside. Inside line got a little better merch there. Gonna be inside of Ray Alfalla.
Fight hard for that spot. It's gonna roll around the top. That's the spot to be on the restarts, let me tell you.
Sure, it's gonna be interesting to see how hard Merch is able to push this and maintain. If he can stay in that top 4, top 5. It's gonna start coming back to him on the long run, staying in that inside line and kind of staying back from everybody that's pushing hard in front of him.
Yeah. Yes, you mentioned that Lukomsky up there. One of those trucks looks like it stayed out with damage. He's a bit torn up there. Ooh.
He is.
He's
Man,
about to
just
be
as you
more.
talked about it, what a save! Looked like
All right, man,
he and David
caution
Budafuku
is
just
out.
got together just a little bit. Oh, another caution's out.
Word
Must
out.
have had an incident further in the back there. But that's something that'll happen when you have something happen up front. These guys who have spotters in the race will be yelling check up, or you see smoke up ahead, maybe you jump on the brake and somebody doesn't see it. Let's get a look at what happened here.
This is a bit further backwards. And yeah, just as you said,
Yeah,
big stack. All it takes is one truck, maybe a little bit lower on the brake bias than he wanted. Shoop, right around.
it looks like he's fortunate there. Don't see a lot of damage on the nose, maybe a little bit, but kind of have this caution period. He's already at the back. Come down, get it repaired, go back at it. Still a long ways to go, about 100 laps.
I'd say a lot of guys are probably looking for that right there. Quick and easy caution right there. Come down and fix some more damage. There's a lot of guys looking for that, that's for sure.
Yeah, it really helps those guys in that first incident. I know, I think I saw Brian Mercurio falling down the order. I think he was in that one. I know he won one of the previous round 1 top split races here. See a lot of guys in the back, like you said, coming down, getting their damage fixed.
It's just so frustrating. You get, whether you get in the middle of something, you cause something, or you're just, one bystander, but you end up with a lot of damage here. It's just not enough time to really hardly get anything repaired. Doing 15, 20 seconds at a time, that's really, really frustrating. Hard to make a lot of progress like that.
Yeah, it sure is.
You gotta do. Get some points.
But for these guys, what this race is becoming is kind of what they want to see with their damage when your truck is in a place where it's obstacle, you might say. You really want to see that carnage breaking out in front of you so that you can start getting ahead of some guys and get back into a top 15, maybe back in the top 10 position, depending on how you play your cards. I'd say who else is liking to see this is Kenny Humpy. He gets a nice restart just about every time, able to put about half a second to a second on Ray Alfalla. Then there's that fight for third between Pfeffer and DeMerchant and Blaze Crawford, but Kenny Humpy's got smooth sailing out front just about every run, it seems like.
That's right. That's the spot to be. Managing tires, managing pace, get to manage everybody else's pace just about. Everybody fight behind it. Especially tracks like this. They're just going to keep on wrecking. Boy, that's a good spot to hang out. That's my favorite spot, for sure.
Yeah, and then in a race like this where, points are super important, I believe they're probably already in their fuel window with that pit stop they made a few laps ago. So we may not be seeing them come back down pit road if we keep having cautions like this and you only go about less than 5 laps on your tires. That heat cycle isn't really worth that loss of track position.
really interesting. I'd like to see one of these just all of a sudden go green, and it's like, well, you kind of stuck with what you got at that point. You want to hope that thing handles pretty good, 100-lap run.
Yeah, I'd love to see this race go green from here. Nice 100, 105 lap run to the end. That'd be great. See who put in the work this week, who's feeling the best with their setup. Who's the best driver out there taking care of those tires, but also have that track
Green
position.
flag, green flag.
Help you bring us back to green.
Big jump. It's cruising. There's a battle for P2. Ray got a good jump back to him.
Sure did. He got a great run. I don't know if this was the first time that he's restarted on the outside, but he definitely maximized the run the most there. Looking back to the inside, trying to keep clean air on that nose. With the way the truck is, it's super important to have as much clean air as you can get, or else it's just really hard to break that bubble and get back to the guy in front of you.
Yes, this reminds me a bit of last year's race. I got to the lead briefly and let Parker White, another NASCAR World Series driver, transferred along with us, part of our rookie class. Let him slide by. I was like, I can get him back. Another 100 laps or so. Plenty of race left. I never got him back the whole rest of the race. Just couldn't get back by him. So I'd be interested to see how Fowler, one of the best, how he goes about getting around. It's just a tough spot to be in. Just all you got to do is roll the top, hang out there. I mean, how are you going to get by it? That ends up being the only option most times.
Yeah, I mean, you really want that track position, especially as we've seen this race going. A lot of yellows. Every spot really matters once we start seeing these yellows break out. Fowler's definitely handling it there. We saw some sparks fly off of, looked like Kenny Humpy's right rear at one point. Hopefully he didn't get any damage from that, but definitely a thrilling race up front there. It looks like he's got some right rear damage from that earlier incident. That's going to be really hurting him trying to hold on. But he's fighting hard up top.
Yeah, he's gonna have a rough rest of his run. He's gonna go green. He's hanging on there.
Yeah, but that's super frustrating if you're in Blaze Crawford's position. You see this guy in front of you. You know he's damaged. You know he's going to be holding you up. Oh man, that was so tight between Crawford and Nichols right there. But it's so frustrating. You just want to keep making that forward progress, and then somebody just starts racing the heck out of you. But Zach Nichols also looks like he's got a fair amount of damage. He's out for a rip.
Yeah, he's fine right now. He stuffed it in there. He's next to he's trying to do the same thing. He's getting big old runs. He is rolling. That's interesting. I don't know when the last time he came down and took some tires, but that's another thing at this point. The strategy seems so far, so many different kind of, look at that run off the top. There you go. Diving down to the bottom. Yeah, it seems like so many guys are on so many different tire strats here. I still never got to the bottom how many sets they get tonight, but 4 actually. More set than I thought.
Yeah, with 4 sets, it may not come into play here on being limited on a tire set, but it's still difficult on when you're going to take it. That almost comes to the point where you have more tires than you need to, and so maybe you take an extra set when you didn't need to and just lose all your track position that way. You got to try to fight through and maybe get caught up in an incident.
Still not a whole lot's changed up there in the top 5, but Fuku's up in there now. And looks like Pfeffer's rolled around. Man, Merch. Buttafuoco there. He's had some really solid runs. Fast as always. Get back to the contender series. Get one spot better.
Yeah, he's definitely somebody to watch in this series. Had some really great races with him in Road to Pro last year. Kansas comes to mind for me. I hope he probably didn't like to think about that one, but he's a super fast guy, and it's kind of interesting to see. I think it's going to come down, if this race goes long, to Pfeffer, DeMerchant, and Buttafuoco. That's 3 different setup groups with Pfeffer on Legacy, DeMerchant on Altus, and then Buttafuoco on Norse Force. They're kind of, I don't think any of them have any significant damage here. It seems like all 3 of them are taking care of their tires, making sure they have that clean air on the nose. So I'm interested to see if Pfeffer's able to, if he's the first one to start pushing and try to drive by his teammate Ray Alfala and then Kenny Humpy up there, or if Merch starts running all three of them in, or Budafugo.
His open stays great. We'll see. It looks like they finally kind of cleaned out this point. Definitely makes a lot of sense. Some of these guys are coming up now. Lost a lot of speed in the trucks. It's a lot of traffic. Just another thing to think about as this goes green. Traffic will play a factor as it goes. Maximize that. Truck.
It seems like Pfeffer and Logan, I think that's Logan Helton there, maybe? Whoever that is. No, it's not a 63 truck, I don't think, but went to about the same paint shop. They got the same purple and orange colors there.
I dig it.
Yeah, they both look great. I like the spec map on them. Then the Altus colors, always awesome.
Yeah, it's Yeah, Rich is looking good though. Just hanging out, cruising like he does. Hopefully he's got plenty of time to put this one together. A little bit better qualifying effort than last outing, but he's in a really good spot. And that chassis, that thing's gonna be fast. That thing's gonna kick in there after a while.
Yeah, I think Birch is. I won't say exactly the spot he wants to be in. Obviously, you want to be up front, clean air, driving away, but I think he's in a spot that he's really comfortable with. Just being there riding. Yeah, but it's getting a little dicey here at that lap car holding the top. Saw a little bit of 3-wide action there. And if you're these guys like Frisch or Blaze Crawford, Kyle Peddle, you saw those guys wrecking in the top 10 earlier, and that kind of gets your attention. Like, oh man, I don't want to be that guy that takes us all out of a good finish. All these guys, in this race are probably good enough to be in round 2, and so it's just super frustrating if you're having a good run, a good points night, to kind of get that all messed up and then maybe put you in jeopardy of at least making it through to round 2.
Right.
Somebody I've been keeping my eye on the running order is Casey Tucker. He and Boyd Hogan, it seems like, have been making their way up through the field here. I know it seemed like Casey, he and Breyer both had surprisingly poor qualifying efforts. And I mean, I can say that because I've had my fair share of poor qualifying efforts here recently and in Road to Pro, but both of them are, it seems like Casey Tucker's been able to really charge through the field. He's already up to about the 15th position, it looks like, versus we saw Breyer in that incident a little bit earlier, might have a little bit of damage. I think he's still outside the top 20.
Yeah, those two, they work quite well together. Remember they, I believe 2 weeks time, Texas, last outing, both coming down short pit. Didn't quite work out well, but I remember those two working together, and yeah, they're cruising right now.
And I remember last year, Boyd had a great run here at Bristol. I remember racing him for the 3rd position while you and Parker were battling for the top 2 during our long green flag run last year, and then I think he ended up in the top 5. So definitely interested to see. He's got a little bit of damage on the rear bumper there, but interested to see how much further he can get forward in this race as the tires wear off, and see if he can get anybody else in front of him.
Good looking paint scheme too. A couple extra power points with the flames.
Always like flames. Who doesn't love flames? But it seems like some legacy trucks running in line there. Casey Tucker, Boyd Hogan, Jake Nichols, I believe that is in the 14 machine.
These guys starting to stack up a bit here.
Yeah, I think it seems like Daniel Budafugo kind of holding up Agnell Phillip, which is surprising, looking at the right side on Agnell Phillip's car there. Really thought he'd start falling off here, but he's definitely managed his tires pretty well. And,
yeah, you can see the gap there. Wow. Oh, yeah, Agnell's all up there on him. Hard to imagine. Maybe it looks tight, if anything. Agnell's trying every which way you can to get to poke a nose in there and get some position on him.
Yeah, it just seems like the handle's kind of going away on that 13 truck. You know, he's trying to drive for all it's worth, and it's really hard when you're tight to roll the top and keep that momentum. You know, you feel better trying to creep it around the bottom. It's a little bit looser. You hit the line right, kind of hook the apron, but you know, if you're trying to hold people up, then the top is definitely the place to be. But it hurts to be going a little bit slower when you're struggling already.
Yeah, it's tricky. That's one thing I've always struggled with. Bristol. I love short track racing, but this short track has always been different for me. It's so easy, I think, to roll in there too fast and shave off that right front. You know, just in this kind of position where it's like, the thing doesn't roll. You're parking it on top and just hoping to hang on and get a caution at some point. Meanwhile, you see everybody out there in front of you just driving away. It's not a fun feeling, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I think this is 40 laps into the run, so we're really seeing where tires are mattering. You know, Sets of Merchant, obviously, and Christopher Pfeffer, Humpy, and Alfala drove off in the distance from this race for fifth here.
So who's going to get by here first?
Yeah, it looks like Blaze Crawford taking advantage of Agnell Phillip running the bottom there to try to roll around the top. But, you know, it always feels good when you pick somebody off like that, but then the problem is you get pinned behind the guy and you're the one running the bottom, and then that guy ends up passing you.
Does he dare try the middle? I don't know if he can get that to work. Here we go. He's finally, looks like he's gonna clear. At least that'll give him a better option here. Give him some more. And you can just see he's rolling up in there really, really well. Now Agnell, unfortunately, looks like he's gonna get trained for his efforts trying to get around there. A whole line of them back there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trucks at least.
Yeah, that's such a frustrating place to be in because, you know, you were the aggressor. You know, you felt like you were the one moving forward there, and then all of a sudden here comes everybody around the top, and you feel like you're faster than all these guys that are passing you. And now, how are you going to get back by them, you know? Unless you get, you know, obviously you're not passing them on the bottom, so.
Yeah, one thing at least, if I'm in this position, I'm like, yeah, well, maybe I'm saving my tires a little better, but I don't know. I don't like losing spots like this, that's for sure.
Jumping ahead here, looks like Kenny Humpy starting to drop back pretty quickly. Ray Alfala is taking the lead, Christopher Pfeffer in second. Here comes Sets of Merchant rolling to his outside. That's something I was kind of concerned with. Looking at Humpy out front there, he was maintaining a really fast pace, and kind of looking at where some of his teammates were running, I was wondering if maybe Clean Air was aiding him there, or maybe if he needed to back that pace down just a hair so he was able to kind of manage that gap. But Blaze Crawford, man, he's pushing super hard. I saw him get loose off of turn 4 and then got pretty free into 1, it looks like.
Yeah, he's on a mission right now. He's trying to get over, man.
Looks like he fell into that same trap that Agnell Phillip did, where, you know, you're so much faster than Budafuco up top, then you try to run that bottom, and your truck handle's different from, you know, the tire heater running the top, and just doesn't do things that you expect. So plus that momentum on the top is hard to beat. So it'll be interesting to see if he's able to slot in your line. We see Agnell Phillip still rolling the bottom back there, so it'll be interesting to see if Blaze is a little bit further ahead or not.
Yeah, that's what we call parking the bus. Frisch is now going to take a crack at it. Can Frisch make it by? Those are team trucks, and
All right, man.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, good to see Noah got involved in that, but I mean that's super. I think Budafuco is trying to facilitate that. Frisch thought he was facilitating it too. It's just didn't time it right, and man, that's just. That's tough to see, and that's going to change this race a lot. You know, now we're within the last 60 laps, really. So, you know, definitely not going to see a super long run here at the end.
Wow. Yeah, that's exactly. I mean, when I saw him pull down there, I was like, well, those are team trucks. So, you know, there's a good chance he probably lifts a little bit more and lets him back up in line here and lets Frisch go on ahead. But, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, man, something you don't expect.
Yeah.
I'm sure they both were surprised by what happened right there.
Dang. And I mean, oh man, what does this leave us for the rest of the race now? Like you're just saying, I mean, Humpy was falling back there. Be interesting to see where these top couple guys. Ray took the lead. Pfeffer up there. P2 merged up to P3. Crucial round of pit stops here, man. If you come out with the lead, you got to be feeling pretty good here that you're going to the end and hopefully holding on to the lead the rest of the way.
I was thinking the same thing. You know, if you're Ray Alfano, this plays exactly into your hands as long as you're able to maintain that lead here. He's been super fast on the short run. He was fast enough to keep Pfeffer and Demerson at bay that long run there while getting past Humpy. So as long as you execute on this pit stop here, it doesn't look like any of the top 4 have slid through their box here. So kind of advantaged Kenny Humpy. It's really short from the exit of the first pit stall to the finish, you know, the exit of pit road. So that might help him jump a spot here. Yeah, it looks like it allowed Humpy to just nose out Mertz there. Put Merch in 4th. We got legacy teammates up front.
And I'm sure Dan's feeling, I mean, he was part of that caution, but man, you have to think that's not how you want to see, how you want to get your fresh set of tires. But
yeah, I'm sure he's glad he gets another crack at this run here, because I mean it's just no fun when you're sitting there and you know that you're backing up and you know that you're holding everybody up, but it's like, hey, you know, it's a race. We didn't come here to let people by. We came here to race, so it's hard to do that here, but you got to do it.
Well, this has definitely been quite the exciting one, I tell you that. Started a little bit late, but oh man,
action since we've been on has been, I mean, it's been great so far.
Still got about 50 laps here to really have a good go at this one here. A little 50 lap sprint.
Yeah, and then this is the point of the race where it's like, how hard are you going to be pushing depending on where you're running, you know? Seeing, like I said earlier, that incident at the top 10, that'll really spook you, and then that's another incident inside the top 10 between Budafuco and between Frisch there, and especially between teammates. You know, that really makes you think, man, what are we doing up front here? So we're trying to get a good point stat here.
Yeah, it's a good one. Well, I'd say probably the second row is going to be pretty aggressive here on this restart, especially Merch up there on the outside line.
Green.
Oh man, big jump, early jump for Ray.
Terrible restart for the outside line there. That's really gonna hurt. Looks like Merch on back. Pfeffer should be able to hold on to second or third, but looks like Budafuco is going to have an opportunity to break into that second row here, depending on how he plays his cards. This is where we're going to see that top really come in on the short run. You know, we've seen everybody pretty quickly get to the bottom, try to get rank and file, but right here it's go time. You got to roll that top and try to get spots where you can.
Yeah, the first one thing I remember, the first 5 like 10 laps. I mean, you can really get that outside rolling. But, you know, Austin just rip those tires apart. That's all you want to do is avoid these guys. But you really gotta think 40, 50 laps left still in this race. Keep the tires on it. But it's right there in front of you, just a couple spots away.
Yeah, I mean, if it were to go green here and you just push as hard as you can, you're going to get put in a bad spot. So definitely tires are still on your mind, but if you're not in that top 5, track position is your main priority. Looked like that 6 track might have brushed the wall there off the 2.
Close. Good battles back here. This guy's getting after it. Agnew Phillip, he's been in it. He's still trapping good. There we go.
Quick look back at Brian Mercurio here. Nailing with damage. Looks like Briar LaPrade has something similar. He's 8.6 seconds off the lead. Tough night for Brian. Hate to see that, but you know, he's in a good point spot with that win the other week. And so, you know, oh man, 66 truck looks like her around.
That's gonna bring out our, what is that, our 5th caution?
I've lost count at this point.
Yeah, we've had a handful, that's for sure.
Let's see what happened here.
Oh yeah,
somewhere around just behind 15th, there's Boyd Hogan ahead of him.
Yep,
looks like he gets a little help from Blake McCandless. Heck of a job by Kenny Braden, missed that, but Logan Helton, Matt Danson, Brian Mercurio sneak by to the inside. Yeah, definitely, you know, go time it seems like Blake felt like. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm sure the intent wasn't there, but he definitely helped him around.
Show him the chrome bumper, that's right.
Definitely meant to rattle his cage on that one, I believe, but it seems like we should still be up on tires. You know, that was probably the third set he took, so if he wanted to, he could come down here and take another set of tires and want to run around on those ones that he slid on, overheated.
Yeah, probably something you can take advantage of if you're in the back of the pack here. It looks like there's a handful of guys. They didn't fix the damage, probably maybe put a fresh set of tires on it, take you to the end, have just that slight little advantage.
Yeah, if you're in the top 10 here, I mean, you're probably not going to be coming back down pit road for the rest of this race. Track position is just too important, even though those tires, you know, they'd feel a lot better on fresh ones, but just that risk of going back in the pack, getting involved in something, or even running out of time to get up there, just, you know, it's just frustrating when you know you could have tires and you can't use them. Yeah. But we see front row that we've seen before, it looks like, with Ray Alfala and Kenny Humpy back together. This time Ray out front, though.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what Humpy can do now. It's been the same 4 players pretty much the entire race, it seems, up here. I think we got a new 5th place.
Yeah, Kyle Pettle's made his way into the top 5. He had a really strong Road to Pro and Contender Series run in 2021. Then had some personal stuff come up, you know, with his career as a pilot that made him unable to attend a lot of the Coke Series races in 2022. So here he is back, 2023 Road to Pro, proving that he still got it, running up front.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember we had a lot of battles with him coming through the Road to Pro ladder. Good to see him back.
Yeah, I know I remember in Contender that year, he was always super fast in Road to Pro, obviously, but he was super fast in qualifying, always running up front. So good to see him back out here as we double back up for the restart.
Let's go.
Be interesting to see, like you said, with Kenny Humpy on the outside row, if they can get going a little bit quicker, because if you're that second place car, you can hang on that leader's right rear, man. That sets you up. That's really your only shot to get to that leader.
It's so difficult. Hopefully, they're probably aiming to get a better restart than what they did the last time. So Merch wants them to get a better restart.
That's for sure.
Green.
That's a green here. Looks like Humpy got a pretty good restart. He hung on that right rear.
Yeah.
Pepper able to clear Merch. Solidly put himself in third. Oh man, Alfala clears. Oh, but he hits the wall. It'll be interesting to see if that's gonna affect him here for the last 35 laps. You know, you're gonna be feeling that, but with the track position, and as we've seen how hard it is to pass at Bristol, especially on these short runs, definitely gonna put him on the back foot, but he can hold on here.
Yeah, I give it to Humpy. That's certainly a much better job I thought he'd be able to do from just that awkward spot of P2 on the restart. Held really good. I mean, Alfala just clearing by a few inches. I thought we were going to have another Buttafuoco and Frisch style incident there off the corner.
I did too. Ray was going for it, and he had to get back clear of him. So that was some great racing on that restart right there. We're seeing some people still side by side further back. I'm surprised that. I was going to say we got single file, but oh man.
Assassinated. Oh my goodness.
Just hate to see somebody not hold the brakes.
Oh, is he upset?
Oh,
he might be upset.
Under the caution flag. Not exactly sure who those drivers involved are. Looks like Kyle Peddle, one of those involved. Man, we really put the curse on him on that one.
Yeah, that stinks. I'm trying to figure out what in the world was that truck going up the hill like that. See if we I don't know, this looks like an onion to me. A lot of layers to unpack here.
Yeah, you see some guys coming in the back of the pack that didn't really lift. Have to get another replay a little bit further up front to see exactly what caused that. See it already in progress here.
Yeah, all right. So you got the
Let's
boot
see.
from
I think that is that pedal maybe on the inside of Nichols. Whoever it was tried to get into line there in front of, I believe that's Zach Nichols. And then Zach Nichols didn't take too kindly of him trying to get back into line safely, and then some tempers overflowing there.
I'm not sure what happened was going on there. But, stewards aren't going to take too kindly to that. Oh boy, it's about that time at Bristol, I'd say.
Definitely is that time. Time to get up on the wheel.
Time to get pissed.
It's one of those times where you really want to be around the top 4. You know, when you're in that top 4, you feel reasonably safe sometimes. You know, the guy in front of you gets a little rough restart and you're right back to 5th or 6th. But really, once you get to 5th and 6th back to, you know, all the way back to about 20th is where everybody's on top of each other pushing real hard. So definitely the Hornet's Nest about to start picking up here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Interested to see if Humpy's able to replicate that restart.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that was a hell of a restart. I'm just not sure he's going to get another good opportunity like that. It's tough to get that once, let alone twice. But we'll see. A lot of anticipation comes down to.
Yeah, the leader, I won't say has a huge advantage on the restarts here. Well, I mean, it seems like everywhere the leader's got a pretty solid advantage, but you know, here at Bristol, it's just so hard, especially with outside car looking at the banking to get that jump on them. I know last year when we kind of had the race starting to break down like this, it took me like 3 or 4 laps to even get remotely close to Parker White, who was leading when I passed you for 2nd there at the end. You know, just you kind of run out of time when these runs are only 2 or 3 laps long. Definitely a worse restart for Humpy on that one.
Yeah, it is gonna be tough to replicate that. See if Pfeffer can maybe go in here and see what he's got. But yeah, he's not quite gonna. It'd be tough to get all the way around. Yeah, that P2 trick.
I mean, you know, at a time like this, it's easy to look at the rear view, but it makes you wonder, maybe I should have taken right sides only if you were somebody that was like maybe you're Daniel Buttafuoco or Blaze Crawford, somebody who was kind of in that Hornet's Nest. Maybe you felt like you didn't have the truck to beat Ray Alfala or Kenny Humpy. Maybe you feel like I should have taken that track position and hoped that we had these yellows like this and I could hold on.
Yeah, it's certainly that's a tough position to put yourself in, but certainly I've never quite had the balls to do it myself. It's a heck of a gamble, but man, I'm telling you, it can certainly pay off really well here, just with how hard it is to really pull off that pass.
I never quite had the balls to do it myself, but I know our hyper teammate Ryan Doucette once went by the nickname of the 2-tire hero, so I definitely know somebody who's been able to do it. But Kenny Humpy will not go away. He's got back by Christopher Pfeffer, set to Merchants all over both of them, trying to roll to the top of Humpy, but
yeah, Merchant's on it now. It's about good time for him. He really wants to get at least to P2 here, and then you can really, you know, how do you get around the leader? It's tough to get around one truck, let alone 2. Let's see if he can do it here. 20 laps to go.
Yeah, I think it looks like right here he's trying to take care of his tires, maybe a little cool off.
Caution is out. Caution is out.
And there's the caution. I was thinking of, you know, you just kind of wait on that caution to come out and bail you if you're on that. You're restarting 3rd there. You can at least go with the leader a little bit easier, and that really gives you the opportunity to vault yourself into 2nd place. So you got to look at what caused this caution here.
Well, the wreck happened somewhere. Not sure what race control is looking at, but
Oh, it looks like Logan Helton potentially, and the 33 truck, I believe. It was the 33 that we saw earlier get turned down the back straightaway.
yeah.
And then
Yeah.
one of those purple and orange or pink and orange trucks. Logan
Yeah.
Helton, that 63. He got a big
Oh.
run off the top, and the 33, I don't know, may not have, maybe relying on the in-game spotter there and wasn't expecting Logan to come with such a big head of steam there, and they got together, both of them trying to salvage some points tonight, riding around back in the top 20. Got a few takers on pit road trying to take advantage of those tire sets they have sitting around. See Matt Nansen, looks like he's been in a little bit of trouble there. Brian Mercurio, he's got some teammates up front, and Ray Alfalo and Christopher Pfeffer. So he's definitely disappointed in how this race has gone, but still the opportunity to maybe salvage a run to the top 15, back to the top 10. If, with these tires here, you're definitely going to have that advantage.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're about, what, 20 to go or under now, so still time for another caution or two. I'm going to want as much grip as I can get for these last couple. It's definitely going to be a brawl as it looks like it's unfolding. But, yeah, this is really played into Ray's hands here with all these cautions. Spot to be at Bristol, man. It's just so hard to... I mean, we've seen it pretty much all race. Once you get in the lead, it's so hard to, off a restart, formulate just that big enough a run and really get by here. So Ray's going to be holding on here, trying to get those big restarts. Be interesting. I mean, two really fast. All these guys are super good up here and really fast. So it'll be interesting to see if they can make a charge or if Ray's going to be able to hold on here. But still a lot of time. Anything can happen.
Sure is. And, Ray still has that right rear damage we're getting a look at right now.
Oh,
You see
yeah.
that Virtual Racing School sticker kind of scuffed off there and the quarter panel tore up. So that definitely has changed the handle of his truck from what he had earlier. Plus all these heat cycles is going to have shifted the balance. Not that that's a problem for four-time NASCAR Coca-Cola Series champion Ray Alfalo, but definitely going to put him at a slight disadvantage to Kenny Humpy or Seth the Merchant or even Christopher Pfeffer still riding around back there in fourth place. All these guys are definitely in it with a shot up here. This is the part where one of my favorite announcers, Larry McReynolds, would say it's time to pull those belts tight one more time.
But it is. Let's go. You think we see one more caution, or you think you're going to take this one to the flag?
If I were a betting man, I would say we're going to have more than one caution.
Yeah, it's a pretty good bet.
Here we go. Your Merch, you're looking to go exactly with the leader. Same with Kenny Humpy, and then your Christopher Pfeffer, you're just hoping that outside lane gets a good restart. But looks like Ray got a big jump there, able to stretch away from both Humpy and Merch. That's going to leave really everybody from second on back, side by side. Plays into the hands of Christopher Pfeffer trying to get back to third here. Third really it's just such a better spot to restart in than fourth. Merch wouldn't be quite able to get that run with Ray Alfalo there, but we saw Kenny Humpy take advantage of it on the first restart after that long run, able to drive his way back up into second.
And Humpy's all over trying to get that run. And Merch as well, got a solid restart up in there.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are they're definitely pushing as hard as they can. When you look at the jump that Ray Alfalo got on this restart, these guys have cut back into that gap and they're right there. So, I mean, it's still anybody's race here, just advantage Ray Alfalo here with coming to 11 to go.
Yeah, you're going to need all these laps if you're Humpy or Merch to get around and make the move. I mean, you're going to need every 11 laps here to work them over. Whether you're going to get all of them under green flag conditions, not sure. But if you're Merch, you're probably Humpy's. He's probably his best friend right now. Maybe they get to racing up there, get to battling. Both these guys, veterans, you have to imagine they're going to be very smart about handling these last 10.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ray is probably the hungriest guy out here. A lot of trash talk on Twitter pointed in Ray's direction. People trying to tarnish his legacy. He'd really like to kind of shut these guys down or shut those guys down and prove he's still obviously got it to win a big SOF race like Road to Pro at Bristol. But we got another caution out here.
Put it out.
I was looking at the running order there across the top of your screen, and I saw Daniel Buttafuoco has lost that 5th position on that restart. Looks like Blaze Crawford was able to slip by him, and I think one more.
Yeah, Jake Nichols, I believe. He's been rolling.
See, 3 wide at the back. Oh man, Larry Pace looks like didn't think he was going to be 3 there, and then got together. Yeah, that 19 truck. Don't quite recall who it was in that truck earlier, but he was having a good day for an earlier incident. I think he was running that top 10, so tough break
Drew
for him.
Freenars in that
Drew
19 machine.
This for 19 tonight. Yeah, he always has a great run through Road to Pro. He's a fast driver, just never seems to quite have the luck to get the result in the end of the race. So definitely a tough night for him. Get another look at him here. Look at that one truck of Larry Pace. Looks like he gets a little bit loose, and they're 3 wide, and they just run out of space there. Looks like Drew just ends up with the worst of it, the way he gets kicked around.
You gotta give a call to Daytona winner Larry Pace. I've been calling all these races so far in the top split, and ever since that Daytona win, he's had some really unfortunate luck here in these top split races. But hopefully, get back after 2 weeks' time, have some better luck at Dover. I think we're going to next.
Don't think we're quite on one to go yet. Give a quick shout out. It looks like Kenny Brady's made his way back into the top 10. I remember he was caught up in that incident that happened really early on, right as we came on the air when they were racing for a top 10 position. He and Andrew Navarro, who looks like still mired down in 22nd, and a few other guys that are running up front there. He's been able to bounce back the best of all those guys to get up front here. And I believe is that Jonathan Delaney in the 6? Who's in that 6 machine there? Is that Noah Bitts? I haven't said his name tonight, but he's definitely had a really good race. Seen him in the top 10. He was in that train behind Bufuko on the long run. Definitely had some good pace, so I'd like to give a shout out to people having good runs. Take another quick look at Mercurio and Brad there. Both those guys, you know, winners this year in top split. Both guys who've been in the Coke Series last year, just having real tough nights here at Bristol. Same with Boyd Hogan out in front of him, but once again, time to pull those belts tight. Not quite able to say my favorite words of the green-white checkered finish, coming to 3 to go, but I'm not counting out the possibility of a green-white checker here. If you're Ray, you gotta get this restart.
Yeah, I don't know. My bet went down. We're gonna get one more caution, but I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, no, I believe we are gonna get a green-white checker. Everybody's doubled up, but the lights are still on the pace car. And you know what that means, Cozy? It means that it don't matter how long you can push, because it's gonna be a green-white checker.
Oh, man.
And it means you better pull those belts tight one more time for me.
I guarantee you these guys are going to be pushing, and they ain't going to be done until they cross that checkered flag. Oh, boy. See if Ray can hold on.
Gotta be a thriller, you know. Ray and Kenny are used to racing for wins, you know, not racing for points. So definitely gotta be a thriller up there. Set the Merchant comfortable in points. You know, he wants to get another win in Road to Pro. Then running in 4th, Christopher Pepper, you know, waiting in the wings in case these guys all trip over each other.
That's right. You never know. Here we go. Green flag. Oh, man, look at this.
What a restart by Humpy. Able to stay all the way up on the 2 door there. Ray's going to clear it, but Humpy's going to have that run down the back. Merch kind of pinned the 12 in.
Yeah, couldn't clear down because of Merch down there on the bottom.
White, looks like we're going to take the white flag. This is the race.
You might just have a go at it here.
Going to have one shot at it here in 3 and 4 if he goes for the slide job.
Oh, man. He's not quite going to get there.
Ray covered it perfectly. Ray Alfalo is going to bring it home to win Road to Pro Round 1 top split at Bristol Motor Speedway. Back to victory lane in that VRS machine.
There it is. Love to see it. It's had some up and down luck in these Road to Pro races, but back to victory lane. Ray Alfalo. Heck of a race there with Humpy, Merch up there, P3.
See his teammate Christopher Pepper celebrating with, and Jake Nichols. All those legacy guys, I'm sure, are thrilled to bring another victory home, get 4th time back to victory lane. You know, this is really, I feel like one of the best races that Ray has executed since he's been put back down to the, Road to Pro qualifying series, whether that be the contender or here in round one. He had a lot of struggles with qualifying in the contender series that really hurt his efforts, and then it seems like he's been up and down, like he said, here in round one. So good to see him have a good qualifying effort and then able to capitalize on that.
Absolutely. It looked like old school Ray Alfala out there. Seized it early, got the lead, and didn't look back from that point. He was on it. He was really on it.
Yeah, I was talking about his right side damage. He said, "What right side damage?"
That's right. It's driving good. Taking a victory lap here around Bristol Motor Speedway.
Polish victory lap. If you want to hear an interview with Ray Alfala, switch on over to FTF_GG. I'm sure they'll have him and your top 3 finishers, Kenny Humpy, Seth the Merchant, stopping by for an interview. There's Ray Alfala parked right at Victory Lane here at Bristol Motor Speedway.
So we'll have to tell you about our upcoming events for Maconi Entertainment. We got 2 weeks time. We got the Procast episode 6. We're getting down to it. We're going to Dover for round number 6. How many we got in round 1? 7, 8? We're getting down to it. There's only 1 or 2 races left, I believe. I don't got the schedule on me, but
definitely getting down to it. Got Dover, Charlotte, and I believe Darlington is also on the schedule for these guys. And definitely love the round 1 schedule this year. These guys have some real drivers tracks. Started the season out, some plate tracks that I know is frustrating for a lot of guys, with Daytona, Atlanta, but ending the season really strong with running Bristol, Dover, Darlington, and Charlotte to round us out here. So congratulations to everybody that had a good finish tonight. Ray Alfala obviously bringing it home. P1, Kenny Humpy having a great run. Seth the Merchant, as always, running up front. Christopher Pfeffer with a great night, running 4th. Blaze Crawford brought it home 5th after his intense battle with Daniel Buttafuoco, who dropped down to 8th. Jake Nichols charged late for 6th. Noah Bitts had a solid run all night for 7th. Kenny Brady came back for 9th, and Agnell Phillip, with his damage, was able to hold on for a top 10.
Yeah, Agnell, great result for as bad as that truck was looking there about halfway through. Zach Nichols looked fast all night. Frisch, solid run, P12. Really solid in the points so far this year, so another good result for him. Breyer up there, P15, another, solid result. Keep him going round 1. McCandless from the back of the grid, P17. Looking at some of these guys back in here. Our boy Matty D, P25, picked up some damage late. Was rolling around with some nose damage, trying to get as much as prepared with those late cautions. Some of these guys back here. 28th on back. Lukomsky was running really well. And Nate Stewart, Casey Tucker, Kyle Peddle, Cody Turland, Jake Matheson all finishing laps down tonight. Rounding out the field of 33, Bristol Motor Speedway.
Yeah, definitely a thrilling night of racing here. You never know what you're going to expect at Bristol. We've seen Road to Pro have some long green flag runs. Then we've seen races like tonight where we had a little bit of both. So congratulations once again to Ray Alfala on a solid finish.
Well, I think that's about going to do us for tonight. Calling the action tonight was myself, Michael Cozy Jr., joined by Tucker Minner in the booth, and Atlanta Racing producing. As always, we'd like to thank our viewers for tuning in for tonight's racing action, and a special shout out, of course, goes to the entire staff for their work in bringing this racing to you. Be sure to stay tuned to all our social media pages, and we hope to see you at our next event. This has been a production of Maconi Entertainment. We wish you all a wonderful night.